What up guys, your boy Quake, and before we get into this video, be sure to follow me on social media at QuakeGW on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm trying to get my numbers up and I keep you guys updated about a lot of things on there and even keep in contact with you guys through there. So be sure to follow my social media. Now, there's been a lot of updates about what's been happening to 6ix9ine. Earlier today, he showed up in court and decided to plead not guilty to the charges that he got faced with. However, there is more to this than just simply that. Media was there in a certain row in the courtroom, so they got to hear in on what's going on. They got to pick up on how 6ix9ine was acting towards his other co-defendants. And I'm going to read this article because it tells a lot about what to expect moving forward with 6ix9ine, and it shows his relationship with Shotti and the other TREYWAY members. It's clear that they're not cool at all. They're not what they once used to be, and this article explains that vividly. And it also explains that the FBI is going to continue investigating both 6ix9ine, Shotti, and all the other people that got arrested. They said they're going to use a lot of their social media accounts against them, such as Instagram. They're going to get into their iCloud accounts, which connect to your phone, which connect to other things. So they're going to get much more evidence in the future so they can get them with more charges. The article starts out saying rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine limped into a Manhattan courtroom on Monday to plead not guilty to charges that he's a violent drug-dealing gang member, as his lawyer revealed that he was transferred to another jail because of threats from his co-defendants. The rainbow-haired rapper, who sported his signature braids and Navy prison scrubs, looked gloom as he and 3 other alleged gang members were hauled back into the Manhattan federal court a week after they were indicted on racketeering and firearms charges. The courtroom, which was packed with relatives, erupted into laughter as Assistant U.S. Attorney Michael Longyear laid out the litany of charges against the men. He said there is surveillance footage that links Tekashi to an April 29 shooting at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where the Gummo rapper was set to perform an entrance song for one of the boxers on the evening card. The judge then said who sang the intro song, which, prompted some chuckles. The other person that was the attorney said, "I don't have that information." Tekashi and his crew were at the venue from the bout between Adrian Broner and Jesse Vargas, one of the 3 fights on the card that evening. But on their way to the VIP area, they were confronted by a rival rap group, and that's when someone from Tekashi's entourage squeezed off a single shot. TMZ reported at that time no one was hit, and this is when the FBI really started to take focus of Tekashi 6ix9ine and the people that he was surrounded with. I said that in my previous video. In April 2018 is when really things started to get serious. Prosecutors accused Tekashi, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, and 5 others of terrorizing the city as members of the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. Also charged are his just fired manager Kifino Jordan, aka Shotti, and 3 former associates, which was Crippy, Ish, and Mel Murda. All but Walter, who wasn't in the courtroom, pleaded not guilty. So everybody in the courtroom, including 6ix9ine, pleaded that they're not guilty. Last week, the Post reported that Tekashi was transferred from a federal jail in Brooklyn to an undisclosed lockup due to threats to his life. Outside the courtroom, his lawyer, Lance, said he's in a facility in Queens. So now we know he's in a facility in Queens, no longer in Brooklyn. He was moved because of his co-defendants' threats, Lazaro said. He is pretty good, but he's not happy. His co-counsel, Dawn, added he's safe, but he's not happy to be in jail. Tekashi 6ix9ine transferred from federal jail after threats on his life. Tekashi was mysteriously moved out of Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn last week after also receiving threats from other gang-affiliated inmates. So this would be people inside the prison that were threatening him, because they're from a different gang, or they just wanted to, get a hit out on him because he has money and they could, threaten his life and be like, you got to pay me or else, we'll do this, we'll do that. That's what prison's like if you have high status and you have a lot of money. Asked about Tekashi's noticeable limp. So Tekashi was limping while in there. A lot of people would joke around and say he got raped, but that's nothing to joke around with. But the lawyer said he has not been attacked in jail and blamed the limping on the cuffs around his ankles. Prosecutors said they're pouring through Hernandez's 3 cell phones and his social media, including Snapchat and Instagram, as well as his iCloud and email. So like I said earlier, the FBI is going to go through a bunch of his secret stuff. They're going to try to find more footage that he's recorded and hopefully link him to more stuff. If they do that, then it's just going to get way worse from here. Longyear, who's the prosecutor, said the suspected gang members were also responsible for other acts of violence. He said the purposes of the enterprise included preserving and protecting the power, territory, and profits of the enterprise through acts involving murder and threats of violence. Now, what he's saying here is that TREYWAY, that brand, as well as Tekashi 6ix9ine, were trying to gain power over other gangs by doing things like through acts of involving murder, killing people, and through acts of different violence. That's what they're trying to push here, is that TREYWAY was a really big gang that was threatening all these other gangs and murdering people left and right. Now, these last two paragraphs is what really caught my attention. They said Tekashi, who was shackled at the hands and ankles and seated in the jury box in front of his 3 co-defendants, didn't once turn around to look at them. Instead, he stared into space and looked up at the ceiling. This paragraph tells a lot. It just simply says that 6ix9ine is not fucking with TREYWAY anymore. He doesn't care what happens to the other 4 co-defendants at all. He could care less. And like I said in the previous video, I think this is going to play a major role in how 6ix9ine gets out of this whole situation. If he goes against them and tells, the jury or the judge that, hey, these people were manipulating me, these people were blackmailing me, these people were conning me, whatever the case may be, he may be able to get out of this. The FBI has a 93% conviction rate, so it's going to be very hard. But if they end up going that route, I feel like that's the only way he's going to get out of this. And then the final paragraph says, as the men were led out of court, Jordan, who's Shotti, the main CEO of TREYWAY, shouted out to the gallery, I love all my family. We don't fold. We don't bend. We don't break. And then he yelled out, it's fucking TREYWAY. Now, that's the dumbest thing you could do in front of the judge. That's very irresponsible, yelling out, it's fucking TREYWAY. That's your gang. You're just yelling at in front of the judge, not even caring, especially with the FBI 93% conviction rate. I don't think Shotti really cares. I think he doesn't find a way out of this because you're going to need a lot of money, and I don't know if Shotti has specifically as much as 6ix9ine has. 6ix9ine sounds like he has way more money than Shotti and that he can get out of this a lot more easier, but that's just me speculating though. However, after this hearing, the trial will officially begin in September 2019. Yes, you heard that right. I thought when I read the article, I read that wrong. But yes, September 2019, that's almost a year from now, about 10 months from now, which is a while. Now, this is the interesting part. The defendant, the lawyer of 6ix9ine, decided, hey, we want to push it back till then because we want to have more evidence, to be more prepared that 6ix9ine had nothing to do with this. The article says the U.S. Attorney's Office offered to start the trial in April or May, which would be about 5-6 months from now. But the various defense lawyers said they needed more time to prepare and wanted to wait until the fall. Judge Engelmeyer initially offered to split the difference and to start in July, but the defense insisted, so jury selection is now set to begin right after Labor Day on Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. So now the lawyers are basically going to try to get bail for 6ix9ine, try to get him on bail. If they get him on bail, let's just say in January, for example, he will be free from January up until the trial date in September. And then in September, will determine his fate. The judge will say, hey, we found you guilty on, 0 counts of the 6, things you got accused of. And if he found not guilty on any of those things, he's a free man. If he was found guilty on one of those 6, then he might serve a year or 2 years. If he's found guilty on all 6, that's the worst case scenario, he can end up serving life. So that's when we'll find out in September 2019 what's going to happen with 6ix9ine. If he doesn't get any bail or anything like that, you're not going to hear from 6ix9ine in a while. You're not going to see him. You're not going to hear any new music possibly, unless he's recorded a lot of things. Dummy Boy has leaked already online. I'm sure they're going to release that and try to promote it as much as they can, but you're not really going to see much of 6ix9ine moving forward until September 2019. So that's it for this update of 6ix9ine and what's going on with him. I felt like it was very interesting to read this article, especially since 6ix9ine did not look at TREYWAY, Shotti, or any of them in the eyes at all. He completely ignored them, just looked at his family, looked directly at the judge, and stared at the sky. Clearly, he has his own agenda, which was very interesting to read. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What's going to happen in the future? Will he make bail, or will he be locked up until September? And when he gets that trial in September, what do you guys think the results will be? Leave that in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diversementality. For just $1 a month or more, you can help support this channel further. A link is in the description below. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I do videos like this daily on hip-hop news and much more, so definitely subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. Like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.